Well, PSO2 NGS just wrapped up its headline stream for the month of November here as we are leading into the TIA update or expansion coming on, of course, December 8th. And there was a lot of stuff that came out of the headline stream that happened to, well, not be that great. And it seemed like a lot of people not exactly talking or realizing about some of the stuff that was, of course, talked about during, of course, the Q&A section of the dev stream. And yeah, I have some opinions, and today we are going to be breaking down everything that happened during that part of the stream, and of course give a little more insight into, of course, what it could mean not only for you the player, but as well as content creators in the future for NGS. But before we hop on into that, welcome back to your number one stop for PSO2 NGS gameplay, how-tos, and of course all that jazz. So with that, let's go ahead, let's jump into this, and let's go over all this information. But real quick, before we get into the operation report, I will have a link in the description below where you can quote what the headline stream, as well as able to watch my version of it, which I cover, and we did a giant breakdown of all of this, a little more in depth. So I will have links in the description and above so you guys can check that out. But let's go ahead, let's get into the operation report.
Recently, there was a bug on the Japanese version servers that allowed players to access regions and other content that had not been released yet. I came across spoilers spread over social media with clips or images of that bug happening. Could you share your thoughts on this? Here is our team's response. First of all, we would like to apologize once again for the bug and any negative impact it may have had on your playing experience or anticipation of future content. Please accept our sincerest apologies. Next, we ask that you please strictly refrain from intentionally using or spreading the bug, as this may violate the terms of use. We have separately contacted all official creators to ask them to remove or prohibit the dissemination of any videos or information that may lead to the spread of this bug. We ask not only official creators to refrain from such activity, but all of you as well. We will continue to make every effort to prevent a recurrence and appreciate your cooperation with this issue. That was their answer.
As you can see, there was a whole bunch to this. So not only is the whole thing about, of course, showing how to do the bug or showing alt the bug and stuff like that, being against a terms of service, that made sense. SEGA, do what you're going to do here. Personally, I think there's a better way to handle that type of stuff. But nonetheless, it is SEGA right to do what they see fit here, especially if it had been written out in the terms of service. But on the other hand here, well, they start getting a little vague and a little uncomfortable is, of course, the mention of content creators here. Since I do not know about you guys, but for the most part, every content creator I have seen haven't really been making videos, well, they've been happening in JP or one or two that might have fell to the crap for me. Haven't made videos showing how to do bugs or glitches or how to, of course, take advantage of any of the stuff that in NGS. From what I have seen. Once again, let me know in the comment if I'm wrong and I somehow admit it, let me know. But for the most part, when I have seen a discussion, a bug coming up, as an example of what ended up happening with, of course, the tower incident, or well, player was abusing a glitch to whack up leaderboard points super quickly, and how that whole competition ended up having to be reset, and the player that were doing that ended up getting a 7-day suspension. Like, in the case of, like, me, as well as, like, Quopy, and I'm pretty sure a few others as well, have made video talking about, like, hey, heads up, this bug is happening, people took advantage, it resetting, you're not getting your rewards, and it was more like an education thing of, like, getting information out there, like, hey, this is happening, and if you don't get your items, here's why you're not getting your item. So it's much more about spreading information to the player base, so everybody will know exactly what is happening. But with them specifically bringing content creators in here by saying they have met it individually. Obviously, I would met it on that because I'm not in the Cradle Club. I have very strong feelings about the Cradle Club. I will have a video coming in more about that here soon, so make sure to do thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss that. As well as I did a video all about why I'm not going to sign back up, but I was the official Cradle for Elite 1 month. But nonetheless, with all that aside here, they did not contact me directly. And as for other content creators, I haven't seen anyone say exactly what SEGA said to them. Because from my research, it seemed like a lot of content creators just kind of jumps over that part of the headline stream. I don't know if the method they got sent was NDA. I have no idea here. But nonetheless, by implying about reaching out to content creator is kind of seems a little shady to the point of if you just mentioned it again, told them to solve it. Fine, dandy, whatever. We get it. We get it. We're content creator. We got it. When you keep up with PSO2, especially if it's your job, you understand. But once you start contacting them about this, it starts seeming like it could be one of them cases of, are they telling content creator to not like cover it like in a news app, not showing the bug off how to do it? Because of course I know on my end I would never do that. But if it affects the player, I will let the player know about how it infecting them, not how to do it. So it's like the vagueness here being like such as like me or Quopy, like if another bug come up in the future that could affect the game in a negative light to the point of affecting what players going to be getting from the game, like FR rewards, if it's tied to like leaderboards. Is this SEGA pretty much just saying like, no, don't do that or we might ban you? I don't know. This seems very vague and a little off-putting and a little worry. Because Elite, for me, I do want to keep you guys up to date as much as humanly possible on everything that's happening in PSO. And the question is, could it get a ban from PSO? Will one day we will report on something happening that affecting a reward, a shop, outfit, whatever it might be, and will my account get banned? I don't know. And in return, I have to say, that part of the headline stream is extremely worrisome, especially with the track record of SEGA in the past being pretty ban heavy when it comes to a lot of stuff. And as a content creator, or for you as a content creator, this is something that probably need to be talked about a lot more. And hopefully we can get some type of verification on this. But right now, they seem worried. But at the end of the day, if something is going to affect your play of PSO, I, once again, never will show how to do the bugs, but if they're going to affect your play style, I will always report on it, because that seems the best course of action here, if SEGA does end up banning us, for, of course, just letting you guys know what is happening. But nonetheless, hopefully it was something that will get verified. I was hoping it was going to get verified during the Headline Stream Plus with G-Wit and Danger that happened yesterday. But that didn't exactly happen. That the whole bit just kind of got brushed over. No fault of them. But yeah, it's something that I'm personally a little worried about, and I think more content creators should be aware of this, or at least looking further into this. Without there is something in that method that specifically states that, of course, they are talking about showing the bug off specifically. And once again, I really wish that was the case. That was something that was Elite talked about in the headline stream, because if they're going to bring up content creator, Elite they can do, it'd be a well of people outside of the official Creator Club, and as well of all of us who do this as a living, that will hopefully help us, keeping us in vague, or just once again, having this whole thing as vague as it is, does not really help any of us. So, yeah, that is my biggest worry about this, and should be talked about way more than it is right now. So that is just my opinion of what's happening right now. Once again, if anyone at SEGA want to get in and talk with me and discuss this further, I am always open to this. So please, if you're able to, please let me know. and hopefully we can have a discussion about this. But for the time being, that is what is seeming to be happening and what is going on when it comes to this whole issue of possibility of banning people who is just trying to get information out. And hopefully that's not the case, but hopefully this is just would be for the people who are actually making guides on how to do it to take advantage of PSO. But once again, it seemed like that case, but the content quite a bit made it extremely muddy. But nonetheless, that's going to go ahead and do it for me for today. But before I head on out of here, I do want to give a giant thank you to everybody that is supporting for the last bit here of November, any of it December 4th, but let's not think about that. Either way, a big thank you to everybody that is supporting over on, of course, Patreon, YouTube, and Twitch by either subscribing over on Twitch, joining memberships here on YouTube, or of course heading on over to patreon.com/Maconn. Links in the description for all that if you want to support and help the channel better and better grow. And also, I do want to give a very special thank you to, of course, 1K for supporting over on Patreon at the Luna tier. Luna, appreciate it. Could thank to you. She can get more food, and in return, just continue sleeping behind us like she usually do. And of course, once again, if you have found that video helpful in any way, shape, or form, make sure you do thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the wonderful bells below, and I will go ahead and see you all in the comments.